Well, good afternoon, friends, and welcome to the Holiday Happenings Fireside Chat. We're so glad that you're able to join us again today. Again, I'm joined today by Pam Breyer, our Executive Director.
Hi, everyone.
Thrilled to have you here. Before we get started, again, just a little bit of housekeeping. Throughout the course of the Fireside Chat, down below you should see a little chat button. So if any questions at all come to your mind during the presentation today, just write that down into the chat box and we'll be sure to get to those as soon as we can at the end of our presentation. And then lastly, another little tidbit. I want to make sure that you can hear us okay. So can you put in the chat box, okay, just type okay if you can hear us okay. Can you hear Pam okay?
Yeah, can you hear me? Is everything coming through loud and clear for you?
We don't want you to miss a single thing. So type those okays in there and that will help us know that everybody's dialed in and on board. Fabulous. Thank you, every one of us. So, Pam, can you believe this is your third holiday season since you started here?
That's really hard to believe, John. I mean, actually, this whole year, because of COVID, has been a total blur. But honestly, the full 3 years of I haven't been here fully 3 years, but 3 holidays.
Right.
Pretty amazing how time has gone by and all the ups and downs we've been through, and we're still standing strong. Somehow we're still standing strong here.
So I love the holidays. It's a great time of year. It's my third one as well. So we are tracking together through this this time. So on the holidays, tell me, why do you think it's so important, the different activities that the Action Center does during the holidays, November, December? Why do you think those are so important to our community, especially during this pandemic right now?
Yeah, you know, John, it really is, as you said, it's your favorite time of year. This is my favorite time of year at the Action Center for so many reasons. Partly because we are stepping up for our community during those special times when families can really feel stressed if they don't have the resources to have the holiday celebrations, to bring the joy to their kids' faces. Families can really feel a lot of pressure and uncertainty and worry about not being able to step up and create that memory for their families. And so being able to be there for families right now, you know, every year is so important, but even more so right now during COVID, when everyone is just really struggling. Many of us are not able to get together with our extended families. So the kinds of celebrations that we're having as a smaller unit are really important. And we so want to be there for people who are facing unprecedented need right now. You know, so many of the folks in our community have lost work, are really struggling to put food on the table, to stay housed. And so these holidays and what we're able to do as a community to meet that need is so very important this year. And, you know, the other thing that always makes me feel good at the Action Center this time of year is the way that the community comes out to support us. I just am overwhelmed every year by the kind of generosity and care. And this time of year rolls around and folks are thinking about their neighbors. They're thinking about those in the community who aren't doing quite as well as they are. And they're showing us their concern by stepping up with donations for our Thanksgiving drive, which is happening this weekend at Tarumo, for our holiday gift giving events, which are happening a little bit differently this year, which you'll hear about a little more later. So many ways that the community shows us that they care and they want to be here, particularly during these really important times for all of those neighbors who are in need. So really important.
Tell us a little bit more about tomorrow, because that is a huge day for us tomorrow. You know, how are we gonna pull off what we're about to do?
Wow. Well, it hasn't been easy this year, John. I'll tell you that. We've had an A and a B and a C team lined up here at the Action Center in terms of staffing, just to make sure that we have the team that we need to pull it off. We're partnering with Tarumo BCT, as I mentioned, and they have just been incredible partners. They've stepped up with a strong team of staff and volunteers as well. So we are going to be at Tarumo starting at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and we will be distributing up to 1,800 Thanksgiving boxes and gift cards for people to buy turkeys or whatever it is that they want to buy to supplement their Thanksgiving meals. So it's going to be a busy, very fast, rapid, and safe day tomorrow distributing food. We're all staying in small little pods, keeping as much distance as possible. Obviously, we'll be outside.
Right.
So we're taking every step we can to keep things safe, but to still be able to go through with this really important distribution.
Right. So think good thoughts. We need good weather because we're outside and you have 1,000 cars plus coming through. So we need good weather, no snow.
I'm hearing good weather, so
Okay.
let's keep the fingers crossed. So,
Good.
yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Pam, very much. Now, we've got a great guest today.
That's
I'm
true.
really thrilled to have her. Would you introduce our guest for us?
Yeah, I'm so thrilled. So today we have this very special guest who's one of our participants, one of our neighbors in the community, who has actually utilized the services of the Action Center and has agreed to come share her experience with us. So I'm really just so pleased that she's able to be here and wanted to be here with us. I'm going to introduce you all to Janelle, and I'm going to go get her right now and leave you all. And thank you so much again for being with us today.
Thank you, Pam. So yeah, we try to make sure we're socially distanced here in the studio. And so that's why Pam is going to leave here and she's going to bring Janelle in. We'll get Janelle all mic'd up, and thrilled to have her join us. So good morning. Well, it's good afternoon now, Janelle. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Good, good. Well, we'll get her all geared up for us so that you can hear okay. Say hello to our audience. Can you guys hear? Say hello. Say hello.
Give them the good presidential.
Yeah, good. Hopefully you can still hear Janelle okay. So yeah, we're just gonna have a conversation today, and you're gonna join us and just kind of sit in on our conversation. So just take a deep breath, and we'll just relax and have a great conversation. So can you tell us a little bit about you, a little bit about your family? We'd love to get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, so I was raised in Denver from the Montbello community. I have 2 kids. My son is in high school. He's responsible. He's a strong man of faith, and he loves playing basketball. He's really my pride child. My daughter is my joy. She's a kindergartner. She's very innovative, very energetic, and hands-on with everything.
Oh my gosh, I bet you they keep you young, right?
Yeah, they do. We've been spending a lot of time together with them being at home.
Of course.
For school.
Yeah, of course. Now, speaking of kids, I bet you they get excited about the holidays and things. Do you guys have any like holiday traditions and fun things that you do as a family?
Of course. I think my favorite holiday would be Thanksgiving. Everybody comes together to eat, but nobody kind of wants to be bothered. You just eat and hang out around each other.
Right.
So it's like I get my self-care and family time at the same time.
Yeah.
And the kids, of course, Christmas would be their favorite. We've had a tradition. I don't know how it started. Probably bugging mom too much. But we open up a gift on Christmas Eve.
Right.
Just one gift. And we make Christmas cookies every year. So we do Cookie Day, making grandma's favorites, my brother's favorites. And just we all pick a cookie and kind of make some traditionals as well.
Oh, that's nice. Absolutely. I do a little Christmas thing like that as well with my kiddos because they just can't wait.
The sugar cookies. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. They're the ugliest cookies you've ever seen.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. So, is there a favorite food? I gotta ask. What's the favorite food at the Thanksgiving table?
Well, for Thanksgiving, one tradition we do there is just tell mom what dish we want every year.
Yeah.
So this year I chose quiche. There's always a fight about the quiche, so she'll probably make 2.
Yeah.
I like it with just spinach and cheese. My son's a vegetarian, so I think she'll make him a special cranberry dish.
Nice.
And yeah, I think the kids pick cornbread. So.
Right. Yeah, that sounds fun. So, well, let's kind of shift gears a little bit and let's talk a little bit. Help me understand, how did you first hear about the Action Center?
Well, it's word of mouth. There's a lot of people in the community that have been here and said good things and talked about a lot of the resources that were available. So I came to check it out.
Oh, super. Now, how long ago was that? Do you remember when you first found out about it?
Over a year and a half now.
Yeah. Very nice. So maybe a little bit harder question. So I know it's challenging, but what is the support that you've received in the past from the Action Center? What does that mean to you and your family?
Well, I'm still uncertain of everything you guys do because every time I talk to someone here, they're offering me a different resource. So I've always can count on you all for updated, trending resources or I'm sorry, I can't breathe.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to breathe with these things.
Resources are, I know that, traditionally the food bank, household items is a big one. That's was my favorite because I just moved into my apartment and heard about this place and came here, and I really didn't have to spend a lot of money on things like lamps or rugs.
So how does it help your budget? When you come here and you're able to access maybe the food or something.
I think that is where it's most impactful. Is I don't have to. I can stay on budget, especially with the pandemic. It's teaching us that budgeting is most important, and so being mindful. It can sometimes be either food for the kids or gas to get back and forth to work, and so just trying to stay prepared and using the services to assist me, and being the best community member I can be and citizen I can be.
Right. Yeah. You mentioned assist you. I think that's a key component of what we do here. We're really here to help people when they're experiencing some kind of a hardship or whatever, and just kind of say, all right, let's look at things a little differently. If we provide you with a food basket today, then that frees up some funds maybe to pay the rent, pay the utility kind of thing.
Yeah, I think you guys really break that barrier of supporting people, where support would be holding that person up, where assisting is meeting them halfway.
Yeah.
So that's really, you are able to meet people halfway and meet them directly. The things that you all receive are impacting us in a direct way, daily.
Yeah, it sounds like you kind of know a lot about this stuff. What do you do for a living?
I'm a social worker and a CNA. I work a lot with older adults. I work in policy, food equity, and behavioral health.
Oh, tell me a little bit about the food equity aspect of what you're doing.
Well, I work with Denver Food Rescue. I sit on their board, and so we're working on producing food equity within neighborhoods.
Right.
So we found in doing no-cost grocery programs with fresh food free for community members, no criteria or anything to be a participant. But we found that there's like so many different zip codes that we're able to serve that we are able to do kind of what you all do, model and be able to reach any, regardless of status quo, regardless of age or religion. Like, you all welcome everyone. And so that's kind of what I'm working on food, that, and then of course fresh foods. Yeah. Kind of getting away. I'd like to do more of reforming the food model, the food system model, because it's the only one that's ever been created and it's never been revised. And we have such great donations. It's just helping to make sure that it's being rationed out proportionally, or it's being effective. I think we have such an overflow of food that taking a look at how the system is ran could be beneficial to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like your personal mission is very similar to the mission of the Action Center, which is wonderful. I think that's amazing that you're out there and you're.
But you guys do that. You guys offer, like, for example, someone can come in and pick their own food. My son's a vegetarian. I don't want a box with a bunch of meat. Or what if my dietary restrictions or a religious restrictions. So being able to let people come in and choose their own food. Everybody doesn't do that. We have a lot of food banks, and sometimes you just push the box. Yeah. So it's such a great thing that you guys are able to offer. Right.
It's that personal touch. It's treating people with respect. It's with dignity, and saying, you know what, we're just here to help your neighbor. What can we do to help you out and get you through whatever the challenge is that you're going through at this time. Yeah. So, I love that connection. That professionally, you're kind of doing similar work. You're kind of like an extension of the Action Center.
Well, that's what I mean. I could use myself to be a great example. Maybe to somebody I wouldn't look like I need to use services. You never know. And so that's the main thing, is just staying humble and continuing to give. And because me being able to collect and get from the Action Center encourages me to give back in return. And so it helps me. It frees up time for that.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. So we do have some supporters that are probably watching us today. If you're going to say anything to them, is there anything you'd like to share with them?
Of course, the classic thank you.
Thank you.
Very much appreciated from me and the community.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't say thank you enough, I think, sometimes.
Yeah,
folks.
well, I think we say it so much that, you know, we could be numb to it too. But
right.
Here I am in the flesh, you know, I have a degree.
Yeah.
I'm a single parent and I'm doing pretty well for myself. I'm having to work 2 jobs and kids are at home, but I'm not worried about food. I'm not really worried about rent or anything right now because of the assistance.
Right.
That part of budgeting, that part of, you know, meeting me halfway of my needs. Things like hygiene, you know, those things we have to purchase every month. That's a real cost.
Yeah.
Something you have to budget.
It adds up.
And it adds up. And so just some of that relief, it provides comfort. I was telling you about how it affects me. It supports me and our family, but my children, they don't feel the ripple effect of me getting assistance. And I think that's the best part of it too, is they're not affected at all. And that's because of the services you all are able to provide.
We're just helping you create normalcy in your life during what's kind of is a chaotic time, without a doubt. So that's amazing. Gosh, you're such an inspiration. I mean, I'm so thrilled to meet you, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better. And I appreciate you sharing your story with us today. I think, you know, sometimes that can be brave and courageous, but I really respect the fact that you're just another person in our community, and we're kind of getting through this together, which is wonderful. So thank you so much for your time, Janelle. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in our next guest, which is Carrie. Have you met Carrie?
I have met Carrie. She's wonderful.
She is the best. She's one of our volunteer coordinators. Would you go ahead and ask her to come in? Thank you, Janelle. Really appreciate your time. We're going to have Carrie come in, and she's in charge of several of our holiday programs. If you've been on our Fireside chats, you've probably seen Carrie come by once before. So we're thrilled to have her. If you'll toss that on your shirt so that our audience can hear you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. I know this is a busy time, so I'm glad I could sneak you out of your office for 10 or 15 minutes. We've been talking today with Janelle, who you know Janelle. And I just wanted you to maybe share with our folks here that are on the line about our holiday gift shop program. How is that running this year? How is it different? And then perhaps even get into how they can help with that program.
Okay. So we have 2 programs that we developed in response to the pandemic. We are doing an Adopt a Family program, which is focused on getting some of our most vulnerable families enrolled and having families sponsor them and buy the gifts that they've requested. And then we have a pre-packed bag program where families have registered online, and we've are filling the bags based on the information they provided online.
Okay.
And so we need people to adopt families, and we also need people to donate new unwrapped toys that we can use to pre-pack into the bags. So those are 2 ways to support.
So Carrie, if I want to adopt a family, how do I go about adopting a family from the Action Center? What's the best way to do that?
So on the events page of our website, you can scroll down to the holiday section. There's a button that you can click there that will take you to the page where you can select which family you want to adopt. And that'll give you information about what they have requested, where to drop off, and some other guidelines.
Right. Now we kind of use a third-party company to do that. So don't be alarmed if you get to, what's the name of the company again?
It's called Roonga, ROONGA.com. Just make sure you're on the Action Center drive because they support a lot of nonprofits.
Right. So it's probably roonga.com/Action Center or the Action Center, I think is the thing.
So we do want to make sure that we get in toys by December 4th because we have to pre-pack all of the bags. And I was just practicing packing the bags, and it takes probably 20 minutes to pack each family's bag.
Oh my gosh. And how many families are we doing?
So we are doing between 500 and 600 families.
Wow.
So that's why we need them earlier rather than later. And for the adopt-a families, though, we've extended the deadline so to make sure people have time to shop to December 7th. So if you adopt a family now, you have plenty of time to shop. We just need you to drop off the toys by December 7th.
Right. Well, and that also gives us time, like Carrie was saying, get it all coordinated, packaged up. But then we also have to find time for the families to come through and actually get these things and get them in their house, get them wrapped, get it under their trees. And so we just kind of things stack up. So it's super important. I think we still have families that are available to adopt.
Yep, we have about 60 families available to adopt right now.
Great. So there's 60 families ready to go. So, if you go to that site today, and what we'll do as well is at the end of this Fireside chat, we'll send out an email and it'll have some links in there so that you'll be able to easily find those sites.
Yeah.
So how in the world are we going to serve 500 families?
So we're spreading it out over 8 days, and we're having people schedule themselves a particular slot to pick up the toys. And so they'll show up, and we'll basically have them just walk up outside, and we'll hand them their bags of toys. So we're going to serve about 5 people every 15 minutes, and we're just going to move them through.
Wow.
And we aren't going to bring people inside so that we stay as safe as possible.
Yeah, this is so different than previous holiday gift shops where we're actually, in the old days, pre-COVID, we used to have families come through and they got to pick the toys out for their kids. And it was a fun time, a little chaotic, but certainly a fun time.
Yeah.
And so, obviously because of COVID, we're trying to find ways to make sure that not only are our participants' families safe, but also our staff and our volunteers are doing well. So I think we have time. We got about maybe 8 or 9 minutes left in our time together. So do you have time to stick around if you have some questions? So if you've got some questions about either our Thanksgiving program or our holiday gift shop program, go ahead and write those in your chat box, and our producer will jot those down for us, and we'll try to respond to those questions as quickly as possible here. All right. So this is a question from Dick. Thank you, Dick, for joining us. What does the Action Center's financial future look like? I will tell you that I'm the Director of Development for the Action Center, and I've been absolutely amazed at the support that we're receiving from our neighbors. Those that are able are giving generously, and we're able to continue to keep up financially. We are a little bit anxious, come January, a lot of the CARES Act money ends. And so we know that this crisis is going to continue. The recovery period for families from this pandemic is going to be months, if not years, extended. So right now we're in pretty good shape, but we know that the need is going to be great. And so continued support from our community is vitally important. So if you've not made a year-end gift to the Action Center, or you're able to make an extra gift this year, by all means, go to theactioncenter.org and click on the donate button. Or you can sign up now for Colorado Gives Day, and there's an incentive fund that we get an extra kind of a matching kind of gift from Colorado Gives Day. So a couple ways you can continue on there. Here's a question from Catherine. This one's for you. Catherine is asking, do we donate wrapping for the families to wrap their gifts in?
We would love to be able to give families wrapping paper. And so that's great. We could take that. Our priority obviously is toys, but if we can hand out wrapping paper with that too, that's great.
Yeah. Kind of a follow-up question from Catherine as well. Is it too late for them to donate money for us to go out and actually buy gifts for families?
Not at all. I think that we probably will end up shopping some as it gets closer. So we would love to have your financial contributions.
Right, absolutely. Because we're pretty confident that sure there's a lot of families that have signed up to be a part of this adopt a family, but we know there's families that are going to show up that didn't have the opportunity to sign up for adopt a family. And you mentioned grab bag. How does that work?
So we have about 500 to 600 families that signed up, and they filled out a form online and listed the interests of their child. And so now we're just going through our stock of toys and packing of bags of toys for that family.
Super. Good. All right, another one. Will you take gently used toys or stuffed animals?
We're really not doing that at the moment. It's a little bit too much for us to manage with everything else that's going on.
Yeah, I think sometimes with the gently used toys, again, in this COVID world that we have, we need to make sure that we're providing, brand new toys that are wrapped, they're sealed, and those are safe for the families that we're handing those to. And so as much as we love to do those, it's just kind of a logistic challenge as well as a safety issue that we don't accept those things.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful gesture. And so maybe hang on to those things for another time. And maybe next year, not maybe next year, but for sure next year, we'll be in a different place.
Yeah.
And we'll have a much different conversation. So I think we have another question coming in. Thank you for giving your questions. It makes our job easier.
Yeah.
We can chat a little bit. So this is good. Another one for Carrie. How are you finding these families that are coming in for adoption?
Yeah. We reached out to Jefferson County Public Schools and some other Jefferson County partners to identify some of the most vulnerable families in the community.
Okay.
And so we've really relied on the community to help us identify them.
Right. Now, how did they sign up? What was the process for families to sign up with us?
They had to call in and talk to a staff member or a volunteer to fill out the form.
Okay. Was there any requirements that they had to meet in order to be one of our families?
Just having a referral from a
Okay.
partner.
All right. So whoever needs help, come through one of our partner agencies and we're able to get them signed up and registered.
Yeah. If you are looking for help, I think the best way is to check our website. Right now, our programs are full, but we are hoping to open up more spots for the pre-packed bag program. And then if you can't get into one of our programs, we suggest that you dial 211, and that would be another good way to find another resource.
Right. These are great resources that you can share with, if you're part of a social group or a church group, or maybe if you're involved with another nonprofit, or a family in your neighborhood, you can refer them to these different types of programs. Because we know that this whole COVID situation, it's not a respecter of zip codes. And I think every community, every zip code in our neighborhoods are being affected by this. So if you have a neighbor that needs some help, there's no shame in asking for help. We all need help from time to time. And that 211 is a great resource to hand off to somebody. It's easy for you to remember. And it's easy to hand off to somebody. Hey, just call 211, tell them where you live, they'll take care of you and get you some help. So that's wonderful. Great. Is there any other questions we can answer about our holiday programs? Again, tomorrow is all about Thanksgiving, so that'll be a crazy time. Are you going to be there tomorrow?
Possibly.
It's gonna be,
I got off the hook so far.
Okay. We got an early morning for sure. Yeah, it's going to be a great time serving a lot of people, and we're excited about the holiday gift shop for sure. It's a great time, and kind of like Janelle says, when we can help provide gifts for a family, that frees up money for them to pay for the rent, pay for the utilities, pay for food. We just don't think people should have to choose between, do I buy a gift for my kiddo or do I buy lunch for the kiddo today? I mean, that's just not what we want. So we're here to help as many people as we possibly can. So thank you for what you do. I know it's a big project every year.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of your favorite projects each year.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Definitely working things on the fly this year. And so it's a lot of excitement.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, COVID is making our lives very interesting. So we're good. So if there are no other questions, I'll go ahead and just kind of close up our time. Thank you for being here with us again today. And I'll just let you know, if you mark your calendars for December 18th, that's our next Fireside chat. December 18th, it'll be at noon again. And that's going to be an update that will fill you in on all that the Action Center has achieved from March all the way through December.
Great.
Which I can tell you right now is actually going to be amazing. When you see the statistics of what we've been able to accomplish, I think you're going to be absolutely amazed. And then lastly, again, I said it earlier, but I'll remind you one more time, Colorado Gives Day on December 8th this year is a huge day for the Action Center in terms of our fundraising campaign. And so if you are able and if you are willing, we'd love for you to be a part of the Colorado Gives campaign on December 8th. You can go to colorado's.gives, look up the Action Center, and you'll be able to schedule your gift if you want to do that today, or you can certainly wait until the day of and make your gift. The more that we receive through that portal, the more of the incentive fund the Action Center receives. And so in a lot of respects, you can really increase the amount that you give by making a gift that day. So we thank you so much. Appreciate all that you do. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Carrie, for being with us. Janelle's outside the studio. Thank you, Janelle. Really appreciate you sharing with us. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Stay healthy out there. Take care.